We are having fun, huh? How about that little Sunday Father's Day excitement with the trade? I all of a sudden I was doing dishes. Yeah, I do stuff around the house. Okay, doing dishes, and my phone's going off. A lot of buzzing. They said, "Oh, no one's telling me what the trade is, but everybody is saying a trade is happening." And I thought for sure the KD stuff finally went down, and instead it's Desmond Bane. That's right. We get a Bane bomb. Jared's up in here. Sneeps is here. Aaron's here. Appreciate you guys tuning in. If it's your first time here, subscribe to the channel. Let's go. Let's look at this trade. So Shams Charania saying this is the trade. This is what we've got. The Memphis Grizzlies are trading Desmond Bane to the Orlando Magic for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Cole Anthony, for unprotected first round picks and one first round swappy swap. Let's see if Shams gave us anything else in there. Said a massive swing for Orlando to compete in the East and for the Grizzlies an opportunity to add a championship defensive wing. Guys, listen, this is going to feel like an overpay, right? Everyone's going to lose their mind and they're going to talk about the picks, and it is expensive. It is expensive. Some would even say that it's Mikal Bridges prices. That's what I said. This is Mikal Bridges prices. But let's just lay this out for Orlando, because what I think they did is they looked around the Eastern Conference and they said, dog do, dog do, dog do. They feel like by making a move like this right now, it puts them into the Eastern Conference Finals, right? That's right. Matty Harrison said, F them picks. That is what they said today. And I love this. I get that you're taking a shot right now and it feels like an overpay for somebody like Desmond Bane. But this is what we've been saying this all year long. The one thing Orlando was missing above anything else was shooting. And they brought Kentavious Caldwell-Pope in because they thought that's what he was going to be able to do. Clearly, a little bit on a downswing here. Cole Anthony is like, whatever, Cole, I'm out on the Cole Anthony experience. And Stan in the chat says, could have paid half for KD, but okay. One, KD's not going to extend. He said he doesn't want to be there. He's not going to extend. Two, Desmond Bane. Let's look up Desmond Bane, his age just quickly, because I feel like it's 25, maybe 26 years old. All right. And then let's go to Basketball Reference and see what Desmond Bane was shooting from three the last couple of years. All right. Let's see. He is a career 41% from three. That's what they're looking for. He makes a ton of sense right there in that core group. You have Paolo Banchero locked up. You have Franz Wagner locked up. Now you get Desmond Bane, who plays defense, right? We know him from his offensive skill set, still plays defense, can do secondary playmaking. I'll never forget that his second year in the summer league, where Memphis just had him play point guard the whole time to see if he could do it. We've seen Ja Morant miss so much time and Bane be that guy while Morant was out. And now he's just going to be taking wide open threes. And you look at that playoff series that Orlando had against the Celtics, right? Paolo and Franz were essentially averaging 60 points per game in the playoffs. And that was it, right? And now you bring Bane. Jared says Bane was a fraud in round one. And listen, I saw Stan say something in the Discord too about this. If you guys are taking away points from a 1 seed versus an 8 seed in the first round of the playoffs, I don't know what to tell you, man. Yeah, you're right. Lou Dort, who's been locking down everybody in the damn league on the best team in the league and now in the NBA Finals, if you're like, he didn't have a good game against Dort, then yeah, sure. Ghost here, put it in the chat. Suggs, Bane, Franz, Paolo, Wendell Carter Jr., Goga. Not bad, but does that get them a 2 seed next season? I think it puts them right in the conversation with the Pacers, with the Knicks. I mean, who else? Who are you scared of in the Eastern Conference right now, right? It's not like anybody is terrified. Tony Williams in the chat says, big mistake. He shot 32% in 22 from... What are you talking about, Stan? What are you talking about? He shot 39% from three this season and 41%. Are you talking about in the first round of the playoffs? They were so desperate for a guard, right? They're so desperate. You look around the rest of the league, you know you're not getting free agents down there. One, we don't even have free agents. And Orlando, again, they look at the Celtics, who are going to be a hospital team. You look at the New York Knicks, who still cannot find anybody in the United States of America to coach that team, right? Those are your top two teams in the East, where the Pacers, who are still there, and the Pacers will still be back. Where is the depth for the Magic? Let's look at the current roster for the Orlando Magic because they were able to not move. Wait, hold on. You say where's the depth for the Magic? Where was the depth for the Magic prior? Are you including Kentavious Caldwell-Pope as depth? Are you including Cole Anthony as depth? No way. No way. They're able to hold on to Anthony Black, who had a pretty promising season this year. And if he is able to develop offensively at all, that's good. I think their one area of concern is you're relying a lot on, dude, Stan, I encourage you, Stan, to continue to use reference points from the freaking first round of the playoffs. Continue to do it, Stan. It's been so well. It's a really good point. You are making good points about the Orlando Magic and the Memphis Grizzlies. Congrats, Stan, on your small brain. But like again, they're able to hold on to a lot of those pieces. They lost two people. Like Cole Anthony was barely playing for them in stretches this past season, you know. So let's look. Sorry, before I get distracted by Stan's stupidity, I do think the center is a concern for them. I am a little bit nervous here of rolling out guys like when you're asking a lot of Wendell Carter Jr., of Goga Bitadze, of Jonathan. I'm not going to stand Isaac. Caleb Houston still on this squad, right? Like Mac McClung. They still got Mac McClung, Trevlin Queen. They will be getting Mo Wagner back from injury, who they missed. They still keep the young guy Tristan Da Silva, who showed some flashes. So, like, I don't know. I still think they have a lot of opportunity there in front of them. Somebody, Pure Magic, was saying, do they still have a pick for this draft? I honestly don't know if Shams told us which first round picks they were. Let's see if I can go back to that. Here we go. Here's a sham stat for you about Bane, who Stan says sucks. Bane is one of 3 NBA players with 800 made three-pointers and 40% three-point shooting since entering the league in 2020. Has shot 43.2% on catch and shoot threes. He'll be a major boost for the Magic. I just listen, guys. I understand here. I can understand if you're like, this is too many picks. And I joked on Twitter that is that is Mikal Bridges numbers. It is Mikal Bridges prices, right? But again, I think if you look at the landscape of the Eastern Conference and you're like, okay, so what is it? Are these picks 25 through 30? Young Dad says, okay, but if the trade doesn't work, they have no moves in the future or a future at all. Yeah, that's fine. But like, so would you'd rather just do nothing? You'd rather do nothing? You'd rather just be like a 6 to 9 seed? Nice for the next few years? At what point? Everybody makes fun of OKC all of the time for holding on to their picks. And it's like, oh, congrats on all your assets, bro. They looked around. They were like, this is the one piece that would make this team better. They didn't overpay for a 30, however old Kevin Durant, right? And they went out there and they said, we think we can do this now. And it's not a one-year fix. You have Bane, you have Paolo, and you have Franz. And Suggs. They didn't move Suggs. Remember, everybody was like, Suggs for Garland. Who says no? They're like, fuck that. We're keeping Suggs, and we're adding, I don't know, poor man's Garland. I think this is a very strong 4. And then again, I think you're going to be asking a lot for the centers of Wendell Carter Jr. And Goga Bitadze. But I actually was listening to the Game Theory podcast with Sam Vecini, and forgive me, I'm forgetting who his co-host is. And he went out there and said, like, hey, listen, if you're not going to get a top tier center, if you can't get an elite center, like you're better off just taking shots on cheaper guys. Like, why overpay for a center? Because there's such a clear discrepancy between the top tier guys, and with the way salaries work right now in the second apron, it's pretty tricky. So I don't know, man. I really do love this for Orlando, because again, you look at the rest of the Eastern Conference. Yeah, I see, Young Dad, you are a Miami fan. I don't really like Orlando. I would put Orlando the top 3 in the East right now. I would put them somewhere between 1 and 3. I think the Knicks and the Pacers are still going to be there. I think those two teams will win a ton of regular season games and will be NBA Finals threats. But I'm putting Orlando 3rd right there. I am. I'm not scared. Again, you're like, oh, is Joel Embiid going to play more than 35? Who plays more games this year, Embiid or Zion Williamson? You know what I'm saying? So I love that. I love that they're just picking off these teams. Like Giannis is going to be back with the hospital team Bucks. You know, there's no Dame there. I really think this makes Orlando a top 3 team. I wonder if we've got updated betting odds here. Let me see if I can NBA futures finals 2026. Let's see if I can find some Orlando odds here. I'm looking at Vegas Insider. If I find something, I will share it up top. Let's see. No, they haven't updated it yet. But I don't know. I'm all for this. I'm all for this. Suggs, Franz, and Paolo will continue to improve as well. Yeah, I just think it, like, again, instead of putting a Band-Aid on a bullet hole and getting somebody who doesn't make sense with the timeline, Orlando found a 26-year-old to go with Franz and Paolo, you know? If you rip on Bane's 25 playoff performance, do you have the same energy for Hero? Oh, wow. Matty Harrison coming in hot for our guy Stan. So I don't know. It sounds like the chat overwhelmingly hates this trade, right? I don't think I've seen too much positivity for it in the chat. And listen, I'm fine standing on an island. But again, like, the Knicks did this for Mikal Bridges, and it does seem like that is a bad trade. Now, like, we can come back to the table here a year from now, and if Orlando flames out, then yeah, it was dumb. It was a bad trade, and we're happy to be wrong. I'm happy to hold that L up high. But I do think this is a scenario where you do it, man. Dude, Stan said, yeah, you're right, Stan. Tyler Hero did have 2 good games in your 4-game sweep of a playoff loss. You think it's just too much for one player? I mean, I guess, yeah, maybe the other thing you could have done is just hold on to the assets and not make a move. I mean, Anthony Simons probably would have been a little bit cheaper, and maybe you're like, oh, we can hold on to a couple of these picks instead of moving off of him. But I don't know, man. I'm with it. I love this excitement here. Pure Magic says, I feel like we overpaid for sure, but I think it's a good move because if you keep them picks, you are basically staying still and saying you are okay with mediocrity. That's right. I mean, at some point, you got to rip the Band-Aid off and go for it. That's 2 Band-Aid analogies, I think, in a few minutes, which is probably too many. Or in comedy, there's a rule of 3, so I have to do a third one here at some point. But I think at some point, you got to go for it. And you clearly had a ceiling with what you had there. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope was not it. They went that route. They were like, what if we get an aging 3-and-D guy, and hopefully, that can bridge the gap until we're ready to take a shot on somebody. And I think they did. And I just, my buddy Justin Catchins, shout out the 89 Cavs, which is a show you should be checking out. But yeah, you just like go get him. Sorry, he just said that. Fuck. Now I lost my point. I lost my thought because Aaron said, didn't the guy sign for over $200 million? Yeah, let's look at Bane's contract here in a second. But he said the picks just don't matter like they used to. I can't believe I was like about to shout Justin out and then I forgot what he said. But the picks don't matter like they used to. And this is the new NBA, so get ready because you're not signing free agents. Nobody has cap space. Nobody's got the space anymore. Let's look at I'll pull up Spotrac here and I can share that, and let's look at Desmond Bane's contracts. We can look at the rest of the Orlando salaries as well too. Sneeps just living his life there on Uber Eats. Good to see you in the chat, Sneeps. All right, let's go look at Orlando's I wonder if they updated this right away. Let's click Orlando and let's click Memphis just in case they haven't updated it yet. So Orlando's current roster, did they already do it? Okay, no, they still have those other guys. So this is Bane's roster right here. He's making $34 million this year, and then he's got 4 years, $163 left on the deal, right? So that, I mean, I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. I mean, that is a little pricey, but that's the money that you're spending on these guys, That's what you got to do. And again, in this new NBA where free agency is just not a thing anymore, right? All of the moves happen before free agency. It's all done by trades now. I mean, if you look at like who the possible free agents are for this upcoming year, right? It's like Miles Turner is the spiciest free agent name. Most of these guys have either player options or team options left, right? Like LeBron, Harden, whatever. This is how moves are going to be made here in the next couple of years. As long as we're in this new collective bargaining agreement, second apron, whatever you want to call it. This is what you're going to be battling. So I don't know. I mean, I get that it's expensive, and I know we have the taste of Mikal Bridges in our mouth still. Pause. But I think I just love an organization that's like, hey man, it's time. It is time to go for it. I think it's a good move. And I've been in the bag for Desmond Bane for a while. You guys know this. I think he's got one of the craziest three, not crazy, but he's just got such a smooth, quick trigger from three while simultaneously having dinosaur arms, just like little T-Rexes. I'm with it. I just love a team that's going to go for it, because you don't know how long these windows last. And when you look at the Eastern Conference and the dumpster fire it is, like, now is your window. And like, even the Celtics, right? If you're like, oh, it's just a 1-year window because Boston's back next year. We don't know what this Boston franchise and this squad is going to look like, right? We know at least one, probably both of Drew and Kristaps Porzingis will be on different teams. Like, how do they approach Jaylen Brown? Like, what does Tatum even look like when he comes back? You know, there are a lot of question marks in the Eastern Conference. Philly's definitely on the downswing. You're not even worried about these up-and-coming teams. It's Orlando and Detroit. That is the future of the Eastern Conference. The Detroit Pistons and the Orlando Magic. That is. You know, Indiana obviously is still there too, but I don't know. I like the idea of just taking your shot now while you have it, while there's a window, you know, while there's a window. And like, you're not even terrified of the Oklahoma City Thunder right now. I mean, but they look like a little bit more beatable than in the past. So I don't know. Maybe this finals woke them up. Maybe they're listening to Evanescence, Wake Me Up Inside, you know? Let me go see if we got any more updates. I'd love to know which specific picks these were. It doesn't look like just maybe they pointed it out. Let's go over to ESPN. Let's see if they pointed it out in there. I thought they were chasing point guard talent. I mean, but Bane I think that's why I like the Bane call, because it answers both of those questions. I don't think, outside of Garland, but again, to not lose Suggs, to be able to keep Suggs and add Bane, I think is huge, because the only other guy that would have made sense, I know people were saying, like, what if old man CP3 showed up? I think the only other thing that would have made sense is Anthony Simons over in Portland. And Portland really, I mean, that's a team to pay attention to over the next couple of weeks. Portland really has to decide what they're going to do moving forward. Are they going to go out there and start selling off pieces? Or like, I don't know what they're going to do. But like, Taj Mula, like, tell me who are the point guards that you would have gone after? That's the other thing. I can't even think, like, I didn't know Bane. I think I jokingly threw Bane out to Orlando on a show not too long ago. I just thought it was the perfect world, like a perfect fit, because he's able to do both 3-point shooting and, okay, they did list the picks, but both shoot the ball and do some secondary. Wait, hold on, Keith Martin Sorrell, you said this is a downgrade? A downgrade from who? A downgrade from Cole Anthony and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope? All right, before I freak out about that, I'll let you tell me what that is a downgrade for, because that's crazy. If you think that's a downgrade. All right, here we go. So let's see. Orlando is sending Memphis the number 16 pick of this season, all right? So it's this pick, and then three others that are unprotected, it looks like. Number 16 in 2025. Phoenix's first round pick in 2026. I had no idea Orlando had Phoenix's first round pick of 2026. That is actually a juicy ass pick. Plus, it's 2028 and 2030 unprotected. The pick swap is lightly protected in 2029. I mean, one thing we haven't really talked about here, what is Memphis getting ready to do? You know? Like, if we go back over to Spotrac to look at Memphis's roster here, if we go back over there to see what kind of roster they have, Bane is much better. Oh, yeah. Okay. So we were saying the same thing. Because I agree. Okay. I agree that Bane is great. I thought you were saying it was bad for, maybe you are a Memphis fan. Is that what you're saying? You're a Memphis fan? Yeah, that Phoenix pick is probably the most valuable asset out of everything that went over. Let's go look at Memphis's roster here. So you have John Moran, obviously still there. Desmond Bane is gone. Let's add, so Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is making $22 million this year, $43 million combined for the next couple of years. And then you got Cole Anthony for a couple of years at $12.9 million. I don't see Cole Anthony playing too much for Memphis. Memphis, who is a team that is losing Luke Kennard this year with expiring, Marvin Bagley, like whatever. So they have Jaren Jackson Jr., and then they've got Edey, who's hurt. He's going to miss the beginning of the season. They still got Scottie Pippen Jr. on a minimum. He was awesome this past year, I thought. And then you got Vincent Williams Jr., Gigi Jackson, a bunch of guys who like have shown some promise. But this Memphis team is like truly in turmoil right now, I think. I don't know really what to do if you're Memphis. Pure Magic said, so we traded the 16th pick in this draft, but kept the 25th swap with Denver. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Does this mean no more Corey Joseph action? You can only hope. But yeah, I don't really know what Memphis's future looks like. Obviously, Scottie Pippen Jr. here is going to get a little bit more run for Memphis. I mean, he was already playing a ton for the Grizzlies, but I don't know. I'd keep an eye on what they do with Ja and Jaren Jackson Jr. moving forward, right? Just got a head coaching regime change over there. I mean, clearly the vibes were super weird. And you look at Jaren Jackson Jr., you have to start thinking about extending him here in a second, right? Because he's making, what is it? He's got 25 million this year and 23 million next year. So he's going to be due for a big old deal. And I know people have mixed feelings on Jaren Jackson Jr., but I'm still a Triple J truther. I know people get mad because he only gets 5 boards a game, but I like Triple J's game. And I think a lot of teams would pay him a lot of money, honestly. I think they would. So Jaren Jackson Jr. still makes a ton of sense to me that they would keep him. But are they just out there? Are they out there selling now? Are the Grizzlies sellers? Do you think Ja's going to be somewhere else? Do you think Ja Morant's going to be on a different team throwing grenades? I would hope that the Grizzlies are holding on to this Phoenix pick and are going to just like draft it next year, I would hope, because that really, as I don't know how protected that pick is. Actually, can we see if we see Orlando's picks? Let's see. Where is the Suns pick that they have that they I'm so confused. Like, was Phoenix a part of this deal? Because I don't see anywhere where it says Phoenix's first round pick unless they already updated it. What's their No, they didn't. I don't understand that Phoenix pick, but may I know your opinion on where Kevin Durant should be traded? Yeah, the Kevin Durant stuff is fascinating. We can keep talking about this too. So if you guys have more Bane or Magic or Memphis thoughts, put them in the chat here. The Kevin Durant stuff's fascinating. I think it's so weird when a player tells you where he wants to go, and now like I was seeing a lot of discourse, right? It's Houston, San Antonio, and Miami are the name, and maybe Minnesota as well, are the teams being thrown around a little bit, right? That he's interested in. And Houston clearly has the best package, for KD. But when like Houston must be looking around and being like, oh, you want to go to San Antonio where the package is like Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Harrison Barnes, some version of that, right? Is that where you want to go? Why would Houston drop a mega package there? Like, I just don't think there's any sort of, they don't have any real leverage, right? They don't have any real leverage there to like dictate terms for KD. I mean, I guess they could. I think the funniest outcome is Phoenix decides they don't have a good deal. They don't trade him. And then they have the two like unhappiest, most expensive guys on their team, Bradley Beal, KD, a combined $100 million not playing. The Miami stuff makes no sense to me either, because I think depending on what's included in that package, Miami doesn't have a lot to offer, because I don't think they'd include Khalil Ware, and I don't know what else you would want from Miami. I also don't know how much that even improves I would still take Orlando's roster. Yeah, stances if they want salary relief, Duncan works. Yeah, that's it. I mean, that is what they would be doing. And again, Houston seems pretty firm. It sounds like they're working out a long-term deal with Fred Van Fleet. So, yeah, I think Bill Simmons was with Zach Lowe, and he seemed pretty confident that he was going to be going to where is it called? Going to go to San Antonio. I don't think the San Antonio one makes that much sense if they're giving up real assets. If you're not giving up too much, if it is just like Vassell and Keldon Johnson and maybe some like weird pick later or whatever, I don't mind that as much. I just wouldn't want to blow up too much with that core. Like, you've got just so many good assets, and there's no reason to rush it. Also, have you been seeing the Victor Wembanyama, right? Running with the Monks, really? I love it. Quentin McReynolds in the chat says KD should go to the Bucks. I don't think that's happening, but I would love it. Like, give Milwaukee something positive, man. Giannis says he's coming back. Give Giannis some love. Let's just get all the tall, skinny. Well, Giannis isn't really skinny. I was gonna say let's get all the skinny dudes on the same team. Put all the aliens together and just play it like Space Jam. I really don't think I thought you are NBA genius since I thought, yeah, I shout out Stephen A. Smith playing solitaire, huh? Incredible stuff. Man, this was spicy. This is fun. I do think the KD stuff is gonna wrap up though in the next couple of days. It sounds like it's really heating up. And back to the Minnesota's so weird too, because they would have to be right. So when they traded Karl Anthony Towns, they basically were like, we don't want to pay this one guy all of this money. So what we're going to do instead is bring in two guys that are a little bit cheaper that we can get off their contract. So you would do that with Randall and DiVincenzo. Now what they would be doing is essentially sending out two guys to get one guy back. Taj in the chat says there absolutely is a reason to rush. This is the most cost-effective Wemby will ever be as a player. No. Yeah, that's fair. That's a good point, Taj. But you know what? I would much rather unload the clip on Giannis than I would on Kevin Durant. Now, Giannis could just straight up say, hey, man, I don't want to do that. I want to play with this team forever. But I would much rather be like, here you go. You want pick 2? We'll give you pick 2. We'll give you 2 future picks and Vassell and whatever salary we need to do to make this happen to bring in Giannis now. I would much rather build that team with Giannis, Wemby, and Fox and then figure the rest of the shit out, you know? And I thought Giannis I thought he would be open to that. But it does seem like he wants to stay with his team. Again, not to reference Bill Simmons once again, but he was kind of mentioning that he thinks the Giannis trade could still happen, but it would just happen mid-season. And that is something to pay attention to that, I do think we always assume this has to get figured out now, but there is a world, right, where teams start off a little funky in the fall. And then all of a sudden they move. But I mean, KD with Wemby would make a ton of sense. And if they're not, if they're just moving a couple of picks and it's like they're still able to pick at 2 and you're still holding on to Castle, right? That's the other thing. We forget I forget anyways, that they still have Rookie of the Year Stephon Castle in that roster too. I mean, it's just the team is just set up for such success as long as Wemby can stay on the floor, as long as he can stay on the floor. We should say, too, while we're here, as we're getting closer to the draft, your boy's we got some press credentials. We will be at the Barclays Center for the NBA draft here in just a couple of weeks. So make sure you're tuning in for all that sweet stuff. But the draft buzz is heating up. What's his name? Sam Vecini, again, of The Athletic, was putting out this first mock draft. We can actually go over there for a second since we had some of pick movement. We can take a look at what Orlando or what Memphis might be doing now. I still can't get over that deal that we got today. That's just spicy as hell, man. I was not expecting it. I was not locked in for a stream. And then all of a sudden, bang, we're going. Let's go look at the mock draft. I am going to share this here in a second. Also, keep the comments coming too. If you guys have more stuff you want to get into. All right, where is the Vecini draft here? Now I'm losing it. Now I've lost it. After all of that, I lost the mock draft, and I just was looking at it. Gosh darn it. All right, here we go. Yes, there it is. We got it. Sorry. Bad podcasting. Quentin says, Magic, you still think they need another piece? Yeah, I think if they could find a way to upgrade their bigs a little bit, I think that is where my focus would be. Because again, you're asking a lot. You're asking a lot of these guys, of Wendell Carter Jr. and Goga Batazzi, who we love Goga. All right, so nothing too spicy here. He does have the Hornets trading up to the 3 spot to have the Sixers move back a little bit, assuming that Charlotte would be in love with the VJ, which I guess I could see anything happen. And the Sixers, I think, are such a fascinating team to just figure out, just like what's their goals this year, man. Like, do they really think they can bring it this season? Do they really think that Embiid's going to be able to stay on the court? I don't know. Keep saying I look like TJ McConnell. Hell yeah, brother. We got that TJ energy. You think Orlando still needs one more playmaker? Yeah, I mean, I think one name to pay attention to with Orlando is Anthony Black. Like I really like Anthony Black's game. I think he's like a defensive force. He showed just like some offensive pop there at times last season. I thought he played okay in that Celtics series in the first round. But yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with their bigs because it's asking a lot. Jonathan Isaac's only going to be able to play 25 games a season, and that he's also can't shoot or do anything offensively. So it is. But I don't know, man. That Paulo Franz Suggs and now Bane core, I think is really, really good. I think is really, really good. I'm excited for Orlando. And shout out Trayvon Edwards, man, in hoop sense. Orlando was his team. He might have to run that back again this season. Quentin saying they got to trade Embiid. Yeah, who's taking on that Embiid contract, man? That's so much money. That's so much money. I don't know who's taking on that deal. I don't know. What else you guys got for me? I can keep hanging out, or if we hit it all, we can wrap there too. But what else you guys have for me in the chat? Appreciate it. I know we get a lot of new faces here today. Appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel and hanging out. If it is your first time here, we do a daily show Monday through Friday, although not next week because your boy's finally taking a vacation. But Bane to Orlando for Mikal Bridges' amount of picks. It's just crazy. Keith saying they need a veteran player. Yeah, so when we looked at their roster, right? Do I still have that pulled up somewhere? When we looked at Orlando's roster, let's see what they got. Let's pull it up one more time, and we can look at it together. Because, yeah, it is a young core. I mean, Bane's going to be one of their oldest dudes. Mo Wagner's probably getting up there a little bit. I keep forgetting they have Mo Wagner, too, because he's coming back from injury, right? Yeah, I wish we had a game. I see Jared in the chat talking about the finals. I wish we had another game today. Not having the game on Sunday. All right, so this is the Orlando roster, right? They've got Jonathan Isaac. They lost KCP and Cole Anthony. They've got Paolo, Wendell Carter Jr. Wendell Carter Jr. only 25. Wow. Mo Wagner, who's 27. You got Suggs, who's 23. Goga's 25. Black is 21. Gary Harris is still there. Jett Howard, but man, that was kind of a tough pick for them. You got Tristan Da Silva. Franzi Wagner's 23. Corey Joseph, there's the vet. He's 33. Mac McClung. Let's get Mac McClung some minutes, huh? Thoughts about the Cooper Flag trade to Giannis? I don't think they're going to do it, man. I don't think they're going to do it. Unless that, are you saying that just happened? I don't think they're going to do that. Let's man, that would be wild if that happened. Let's look at it, because I think a third team would have to be involved, right? If you take the Dallas Mavericks and the Milwaukee Bucks, because the salary is just so much. I think Clay would have to be in that deal, right? Because if you send Giannis over, Dallas, right, would send over the first overall pick. That would go to Milwaukee, right? And then we got to find $48 million, I think, on the Dallas side of stuff. So if we go back to Dallas, if we throw Klay Thompson in there, there's $15 million. You'd have to throw PJ in there. That's another. Let's see now. Why can't that? So that passes on the Bucks side of things. Milwaukee, they're still hard capped by another $16 million. What if you throw in Daniel Gafford too? And then I don't know. That still doesn't pass. You might need a third team, another $3.5 million. Dwight Powell. How about Dwight Powell? Will that do it? That passes it. All right, so it'd be Cooper Flag, Klay Thompson, PJ Gafford, Powell, and then probably another pick or something would have to be in there. I don't think they're going to do it. Let's talk about Game 5, Aaron says. I got to tell you, Aaron, I have been wrong on every step of the way on this series, man. I thought Indiana really had a chance there. You know, they really had a chance 3-1. Credit Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who is just incredible down the stretch. I know there was some tough non-calls or calls there. The only bad call I saw was that it ended up being a Halliburton turnover into a fast break on the other side where Dort clearly shoved him. But that's not why they lost, man. Scott Foster is not why they lost. Indiana stopped scoring. That OKC defense just showed up. And this has been an incredible series. And that's why anytime somebody wants to tweet out their NBA ratings take, again, I've said this before, I'll say it again. We don't talk about ratings about literally anything else. Who gives a fuck? These series has been awesome. OKC with a championship level response there with everything on the line, 4 minutes to go. SGA, the MVP, goes out there and hits bucket after bucket. Botavine says Game 5 will be pivotal. Yeah, I imagine. I feel like this is going 7 now at this point. I think OKC, like we've seen their bench just disappear and dissipate in the last 2 games in Indiana. outside of Alex Caruso, who like legit should just be a starter at this point. My guess is we see a Wiggins a revival. Maybe Isaiah Joe finally knocks down a shot or two. I imagine we see better bench play. Better bench play there. And then, but Indiana, dude, every time I think they don't have it, they show up. Like, this has been awesome. It's been a great series. It was cool to see Halliburton have a pretty big game 3 with that near triple double. I mean, Siakam looked great in the first half of game 4. And then or even in the first 3 quarters. It was kind of like a role reversal of game 1. I know it wasn't a game winner, but in the sense that it felt like Indiana for almost 2 consecutive games, right? Game 3, it was Indiana basketball. They were playing in their flow. They were in control of the offense. They were kind of dictating terms. And then it felt like that for most of the game 4 as well. And then all of a sudden, the Clampies came out. And they shut them down. It was awesome. That was just such a fun game. And again, for those that don't know, if you're new, I am a Celtics fan, and I feel it's just such relief not having a rooting interest in this. And I'm just rooting for like good basketball. I do think OKC wins this series. I think I said OKC in 5, which obviously is impossible now. But I'll take OKC in 6. I think they bang out both of these games, but I hope it goes 7. I want as much basketball as possible. I will say too, if you guys don't know about this, we stream all of the games over on Playback. If you're not familiar with Playback, you get to just watch the game along with us while we talk shit. I just shared a link to that into the chat, so go subscribe to that if you haven't. But I think we're gonna call it there. This was, man, I'm probably sweating through my shirt. Yeah, this was good. Thank you, Shams. Thank you, Orlando. Thank you, Memphis. Don't be dissuaded by how many first-round picks it was. This was a winner move from the state of the state of Florida. All right? I haven't been able to give Florida a dub in a while. I thought this was we surveyed the Eastern Conference, and we said, bet. We got this. All right? I love this. Man. I'm hyped. Happy Father's Day. If you get some dads in the chat, happy Father's Day. Thank you to Jared Magnuson for the $1.99 super chat. Yeah, come back. We got content dropping all the time. Appreciate everybody hanging out. Go enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Whoo! That was fun. Desmond Bane. Bane.